A cantilever beam of length L with uniform cross-section and flexural rigidity EI is loaded uniformly by a vertical load W per unit length. The maximum vertical deflection of the beam is given by. They have asked the maximum vertical deflection of this beam. It is a 2014 set 2 gate question being asked for 2 marks, and these are the options as shown. And this condition is a particular condition which must be remembered. Similar to this, we have to remember a cantilever beam with a point load at the end, a cantilever beam with a moment at the free end, and a cantilever beam with uniformly varying load. Similar to this, you have to remember for a simply supported beam and for a fixed beam also. There are certain formulae which you must remember. Otherwise, it will be difficult to solve in other problems. Here it is simpler. They have just asked the formulae. But in other cases, there will be you must utilize this formula to solve the particular problem. So in that case, it would be difficult to derive the formula. So you just remember the formula, which is maximum deflection is equal to W L power 4 by 8 EI, while the maximum slope is equal to, that is theta max, is equal to W L cube by 6 EI. These two formulae must be remembered for this condition. Similarly, for this several conditions, you have to remember the maximum deflection and the maximum slope. Not several, there are nearly 10 to 11 specific conditions which you must remember. Through further questions, preparing through questions and searching for certain conditions in books, you will be finding specifically 11 conditions, 11 to 12 conditions around, I think so. Those conditions, for those conditions, you must remember the maximum deflection and the maximum slope. In this particular case of cantilever beam, not in this loading, for a cantilever beam, always the free end will be having maximum deflection and maximum slope, while the fixed end will be having zero deflection and zero slope. This is constant. This happens always for a cantilever beam. So for a cantilever beam with uniformly distributed load, the maximum deflection is WL power 4 by 8 EI, while the maximum slope is WL cube by 6 EI. Remember this. Consider a simply supported beam of length 50 h with a rectangular cross-section of depth h and width 2h. The beam carries a vertical point load P at its midpoint. The ratio of the maximum shear stress to the maximum bending stress in the beam is. Here they have set maximum shear stress, but since it is a vertical point load, it is direct shear stress and it is not torsional shear stress. They have asked the ratio of maximum direct shear stress to maximum bending stress in the beam. It is a 2014 set 3 gate question being asked for 2 marks. Okay, we have discussed earlier that for a rectangular cross section, the maximum direct shear stress is given as 3 by 2 of tau average, where tau average is P divided by the area, which is h into 2h. But since they have asked the maximum direct shear stress, so we are finding the maximum shear force, which gives the maximum shear stress. So we are finding the P max divided by h into 2h. For an SSB with point load at its midpoint, with P at its midpoint, that is, if a point load is acting at the midpoint of an SSB, the P max comes out to be P by 2. So just by substituting P by 2, you will be getting the tau max. Okay, similarly, we have to find the bending stress maximum, that is M max by ZNA. This is the formula for sigma B max. You could say it as sigma B by Y is equal to M max by I, which comes out to be sigma B max is equal to M max by ZNA. We know that section modulus about the neutral axis is h squared into 2h by 6. Here I have represented as b h squared by 6. Instead of b, we are using 2h. We know that with this 2h, so we are using 2h into h squared. And the depth is h. So it is h squared divided by 6. So you will be getting z and a, and we need to find M max. We know that M max in case of an SSB with point load at its midpoint, it will be P by 2 into L by 2. Try drawing as a simply supported beam as a free body diagram and try to find the loads, and you will be finding the maximum shear force and the maximum moment, and using this you can find the maximum shear stress and the maximum bending stress. So sigma B max comes out to be P into 50h divided by 4 divided by h cube by 3. So just by dividing tau max by sigma B max, you will be getting D 0.01. So 0.01 is the answer. A force P is applied at a distance x from the end of the beam as shown in the figure. What would be the value of x so that the displacement at A is equal to 0? If displacement at A is equal to 0, then x would be, they have asked the value of x if A is deflection at A is 0. It is a 2014 set 3 gate 2 mark question. Okay, if you draw the free body diagram just by splitting this horizontal member and this vertical member and this cantilever, you will be getting the free body diagram like this. Instead of P, you can substitute here as a vertical load, that is a straight axial load with respect to this vertical member and a bending moment. So this vertical load and this bending moment will be applying here a bending moment and a vertical load, which I have described here. Here you can see a downward force P is exerted and a moment P into L minus X. This distance will be acting here. So it will be P into L minus X. So P into L minus X and a P downward load will be acting, which we will be splitting into two. We can superimpose them. Here you can see the maximum deflection due to this point load and the maximum deflection due to this particular moment is equal to 0. They have said displacement at A. Why we are taking maximum deflection? We know that in case of a cantilever beam, the free end will be experiencing maximum deflection always. So del max is equal to PL by 3EI and del max is equal to ML squared by 2EA. These two also must be remembered as I have said in the earlier question. Since it is downward, you must take it as negative, and since it is this movement is anti-clockwise and it is upward, you have to take it as positive. So minus PL cube by 3EI plus ML squared by 2EI. Instead of M, it is P into L minus X. So P into L minus X into L squared by 2EI is equal to 0. So just by equating it to 0, you will be getting the value of x, which comes out to be 0.33 L. A frame is subjected to a load P as shown in the figure. The frame has a constant flexural rigidity EA. The effect of axial load is neglected. The deflection at point A due to the applied load P is. They have asked the deflection at point A due to the applied load P. Okay, so they have asked the deflection at the point of application of the load itself. As we have discussed earlier, here we can use Castigliano's theorem, which comes out to be easier. The Castigliano's theorem is stated as deflection at a point A is equal to the partial derivative of the total strain energy of the beam with respect to the load at that particular point A. Okay, it is actually a 2014 gate set 3 question being asked for 2 marks, and they have given the options, and we know the Castigliano's theorem, so we are substituting here. First we must need to find the strain energy of the whole beam. So I am splitting this into horizontal member and a vertical member. For the horizontal member, you can see P is acting, so it will be exerting a moment at a distance x from this point of application, which will be the moment of minus px. Since it is acting downwards, so it will be minus px whole squared into dx by 2ei 0 to L. This comes out as a definition for strain energy. Actually, for all strain energy calculation with respect to moment, it will be 0 to L m squared dx by 2ei. So instead of m, considering a cross section at a distance x from the free end, we are calculating p into x. So we are substituting minus px. Why minus? Because it is acting downwards. So minus px whole square dx by 2a, we will be getting a value. Similarly for the vertical member. So this p will be exerting a downward force, which is actually an axial force for this vertical member. Since the effect of axial load is neglected, we are neglecting that. And this p will also be causing a moment p into L. So as we know that m squared dx by 2a, instead of m, we are substituting minus pl. Remember, here it is minus px and here it is minus pl. Okay, minus pl whole squared by 2EA into dx. So here we will be getting another strain energy for the vertical member. So just by adding these two, you will be getting the total strain energy, which comes out to be 4p squared L cube by 6EA. So partially differentiating with respect to the load, we will be getting 4p L cube by 3EI. This is the answer. A cantilever beam with flexural rigidity of 200 Newton meter square is loaded as shown in the figure. the deflection in mm at the tip of the beam is. They have asked at this point and they have given load here. So Castigliano's theorem can't be used here. Okay. And it is a 2015 set 1 question being asked for 2 marks. Okay. Here I have demonstrated 2 diagrams. Here you can see I have split into 2. I will explain this in the further upcoming session. Okay. First, we know that for a cantilever with point load at the end, the deflection will be maximum and it is given as PA cube by 3A, where A refers to the distance. Why I am referring only A, but actually I should refer A plus L minus A. That is the whole length only, no. But here the load is acting at this point. So in order to find the deflection at this particular point, I am considering the cantilever beam only up to this point. You should consider in this way and you should find the deflection at this point. And similarly, you have to find the theta b, that is slope at this point. And just by finding these two values and using this equation, you can find the deflection at this point. How this equation has come? You know that here will be a deflection yb, and beyond that there will be a deflection here which is given as y1. We know that L minus A into sine theta b, we will be getting y1. But since it is a small angle, we can consider sine theta b equal to theta b. So L minus A into theta b, we will be getting y1. So y1 plus y2. So y2 is yb and theta b into L minus A is y1. So by adding these two, we will be getting the total deflection at the end, that is at the tip of the beam. This is the way to calculate. Just first find the deflection and slope at this point by considering the cantilever beam only up to this point B, and after finding the deflection and slope at this point, use this equation to find the deflection at this tip. But the slope at A will be the same as that of B, that is theta B is the slope at B. The same slope will be at A also, but deflection only will be varying for B and A. Instead of B's value, A's value will be higher in the case of deflection, but in the case of slope, both B and A will be having equal values. A cantilever beam with square cross-section of 6 mm side is subjected to a load of 2 kN normal to the top surface as shown in the figure. The Young's modulus of elasticity of the material of the beam is 210 gigapascal. The magnitude of slope in radian at Q 20 mm from the fixed index. Here you can see that the values are given in millimeter, so it is better to use in the same way. They have asked the magnitude of slope in radians. It is a 2015 2-mark question being asked in set to gate paper, and they have asked the magnitude of slope at the point Q. So you have to find the loading at Q by deploying two forces which are of equal magnitude as of this force but opposite in direction. Actually, if you replace it with a 2 kN downward and 2 kN upward, actually there is no force, zero. So we are introducing dummy forces to dummy forces. So this P and this upward force will be forming a couple, and this will be a downward force. So instead of P, the loading effect due to this P will be a downward force 2 kN and a moment 160 kilonewton millimeter. Actually, it is millimeter. Sorry for the mistake. Actually, it is 160 kilonewton millimeter. Okay. We know that for a cantilever beam with point load at the free end, it will be PL squared by 2EI. And for a cantilever beam with the moment at the free end, the slope will be ML by EI. Just by adding both, we know the moment as 160 kilonewton millimeter and we know the load as 2 kilonewton. So just by taking the kilo out, we will be having 1000 outside. So 160 into 20 comes out to be the length, that is this length. So it is 20 millimeter. So it is into 20 plus 2 comes out to be the load, and 20 is the length. So 20 squared divided by 2. We have taken EA also outside. The reason for taking this is you will be knowing that 210 gigapascal can be converted into 210 into 1000 megapascal. If it is in megapascal, it will be Newton per millimeter squared. So the signs will be cancelling out. That is, the units will be cancelling out and it will be easier to solve. So 210 into 1000, 1000 gets cancelled. So just by multiplying 1 by 210 into I, I for a square cross section is a power 4 by 12. So just by substituting a power 4 by 12 and all these values, and if you calculate, you will be getting 0.1587 as the slope in radians at Q. Remember these two formulae we have seen in many questions. That's why I have emphasized you to remember these formulae for a cantilever beam with point load at the end, with slope at the end, sorry, with the moment at the end. Remember this? This is actually kilonewton millimeter. A cantilever beam having square cross section of side A is subjected to an end load. If A is increased by 19%, the tip deflection decreases approximately by, it is a 2016 set 1 gate 1 more question, and they have given the different percentages. Okay, several times we have seen here also it is a simple question of cantilever plus point load at end. So the maximum deflection is given as PLQ by 3I, which means that Y max is inversely proportional to I. Not only in this particular cantilever case, always deflection is inversely proportional to the moment of inertia. We know that for I of a square, a power 4 by 12 is the formula. So y is inversely proportional to a power 4. So the final y dash, that is after increasing the a by 19%, it will be 1.19 a the whole power 4. So you will be getting around 1 by 2 of y. That is y dash will be 1 by 2 y if you calculate 1.19 a power 4. So in order to find the decreasing percentage, you have to minus the new minus initial divided by the initial into 100. So y dash minus y by y into 100, you will be getting 1 by 2y minus y by y into 100. It will be 1 by 2, that is 0.5 into 100, which is 50 percentage. So 50 percentage comes out to be the answer. Just by seeing this itself, you can just find 1 by 1.19. It will be 1 by 2 of y. If it is 1 by 2 of y, it has been reduced by 50 percentage. So 50 percentage is the answer. A simply supported beam of length 3L is subjected to the loading as shown in the figure. Actually, it is a straight beam. Since it is taken from a book copy, it seems a little bent. It is given that P is equal to 1 Newton, L is equal to 1 meter, and Young's modulus E is equal to 200 gigapascal. The cross section is a square with dimension 10 mm cross 10 mm. The bending stress in Pascal at the point A located at the top surface of the beam at the distance of 1.5 L from the left end is, which means it is at the midpoint. It is a 2016 set 1 gate 2 mark question. Okay, by using engineering mechanics concept, that is summation of V is equal to 0, we have to find the reactions at left hand and right hand. So I am assuming the upward force. I have assumed the reactions to be acting upward, and upward force is positive. So RL plus RR plus P minus P is equal to 0, which comes out to be RL is equal to minus RR. Okay, summation of moment at the left end is equal to 0. I have assumed the anti-clockwise moment as negative. I have assumed the right hand side reaction to be upward. So minus RR into 3L plus P into 2L minus P into L is equal to 0, which comes out to be RR is equal to P by 3. Since it comes out to be positive, the assumption which I have made as RR to be upward is right. So P by 3 upward direction. So RR is P by 3 upward direction. We have found that RL is equal to minus RR, that is equivalent opposite in direction. So it is RL is equal to P by 3 in downward direction. Now we are to find the moment at A. I am finding with respect to the left hand side. You can also find with respect to the right hand side also. I am finding with respect to the left hand side. So MA is equal to minus RL into 1.5L. As I have said earlier, anti-clockwise is assumed to be negative by me. So here we have found that P by 3 to be acting downward. So P by 3 into 1.5L will be in anti-clockwise direction. So it is minus RL 1.5L, while P into 0.5L will be in clockwise direction. So plus P into 0.5L, you will be getting equal to 0. Instead of RL, you will be substituting P by 3, which will be P by 2 into L. So it will be P into 0.5 L. So it becomes out to be 0. So the bending stress at point A is actually 0. A beam of length L is carrying a uniformly distributed load W per unit length. The flexural rigidity of the beam is EI. The reaction at the simple support at the right end is. This kind of beam setup is referred to as a propped cantilever beam. This simple support is referred to as a prop. Okay, it is a 2016 set 3 gate 2 mark question, and here are the different options given. Okay, such kind of propped cantilever beams are generally statically indeterminate. What is statical indeterminacy means? That is, when the number of unknown reactions are greater than the static equilibrium equations, then such a beam type is referred to as a statically indeterminate beam. Okay. What are the number of unknown reactions? Here you can see, due to this vertical loading, we will be having a reaction, upward reaction here. And similarly, at this fixed point, we will be having an upward reaction and a momentum. So RLML refers to a reaction at the left end and a moment reaction at the left end, while RR refers to the upward reaction at the right end. So we are having three unknown reactions, but the static equilibrium equations here can be used or summation V is equal to 0 and summation M is equal to 0. We can't use summation H is equal to 0 since there are no horizontal forces. Okay, in such cases, we should use the compatibility equation. Here the compatibility equation is the deflection at this right end is 0. Since there is a propped cantilever beam and here we are having a prop, so there is no possibility to have a displacement or a deflection here. So del at our right end, that is del r, that is deflection at right end, is equal to 0. I have split it into two as we have seen in previous sums. It is split into a cantilever beam with a uniformly distributed load plus a cantilever beam with an upward reaction, that is RR. So just by adding these two and equating to 0, we will be getting the reaction at the prop. Okay, we know that for a cantilever beam with uniformly distributed load, the maximum deflection at the free end is WL power 4 by 88, while the deflection for a cantilever beam with upward load is L cube divided by 3EI. Okay, why it is minus? Since it is acting downwards. It is our convention. The displacement will be downward, so it is negative, and the displacement here it will be upward, so it is positive. So equating this two, you will be getting 3WL by 8. Consider a beam with circular cross-section of diameter d. The ratio of the second moment of area about the neutral axis to the section modulus of the areas. It is a 2017 set 1 mark question. It is a simple question. They have asked the ratio of second moment of area about neutral axis to section modulus of the area. Just by seeing the question itself, we can say that d by 2. We know that INA is equal to pi by 64 d power 4 and ZNA as pi by 32 d cube. Actually, ZNA is derived from INA, which is given as ZNA is equal to INA divided by the distance of the farthest fiber from the neutral axis, which is actually d by 2. So you can see the ratio to be 2 comes out to be d by 2. So d by 2 is the answer.